What's the dumbest or most inaccurate thing you've ever heard a teacher say? 1. My grade 5 teacher popped a quiz on the class once and asked us what the largest thing in the universe was. I said, nobody knows. And this other kid said, no, it's the sun. Guess who got marked as correct? And guess whose blood pressure still goes up typing this over 30 years later? Prep your quiz answers, Miss C, you brain dead twit. 2. Way back, in the mid-1960s, my 5th grade teacher saw that pineapples grew on trees and coconuts grew on vines, like grapes. Having just moved from Hawaii to Massachusetts, I got in trouble for pointing out how wrong she was on both counts. 3. I can still remember my 8th grade teacher saying, to a room of lower and lower class students and some downright poor as hell, that you couldn't survive off of less than $40,000 a year. 15 years ago. Knowing full well that my parents didn't make that much and I still had 3 meals a day, Nikes once a year, and a roof over my head. It still bothers me for some reason. 4. When I was 6 years old we got a fun little, make and answer your own maths question exercise. I wanted to show the teacher that my dad had shown me how to do additions and subtractions below 0. 1 to 3 equals -2 was marked as incorrect, because apparently you can't do maths below 0. But Mrs. H, what about temperatures on the weather forecast? That's different. That's not maths. 5. I don't know if this counts, but I had a really dumb teacher who would always teach from a book. So one day he was telling us about how the toilets in Australia flush the other way. So he then talked for 10 minutes about how it was because of Australia being in the southern hemisphere. Because that's what the book said. Then the book did a huge 180 and said how it was all just a myth and it was not true. So the teacher just stood there defeated and then moved on. So he pretty much was dumb enough to go on and on about one part of the book said, and then instantly get corrected by the book itself.